I'm here with Robin, bass player and vocalist of Alastor. Thanks for coming by to the podcast, man.
Thank you.
You recently came out with the album on Writing Easy Records known as Onwards and Downwards. We're going to go ahead and discuss the album there in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to see as far as where you come from, as far as what got you into music.
Well, I don't really know where to start because I've been interested in like listening to music, and I've been wanting to play music for as far as I can remember basically. But I suppose like I remember one time when I was like 9 or 10 years old, I walked past the guitar store and saw a cool BC Rich guitar, and I wanted to buy it just to hang on the wall, and I did. So that's what actually became me trying to learn the guitar and forming some bands with friends and starting to listening to heavier music. I've been in some bands prior to Alastor, but none that really has any significance today.
I know that before Alistair, you were actually in a band called Haoma. And
Yeah,
could you tell us about that a little bit?
well, I got in touch with an old friend of mine. His name is Stefan, and he was the first drummer of Alastor as well. And we formed like a yam based duo, like just drum and bass and vocals. We were heavily influenced by bands such as Ohm and Subrig Destroyer, and still like learning to actually play the bass more and more. We wrote some songs and well, basically spent the day smoking weed and jamming at our rehearsal space. Um, and I mean, a few months later, Hampus, our guitarist today, he actually wrote me a mail and asked if we knew any bands that needed a guitarist because he split up with his uh, previous band. And I was like, yeah, you can come play with us, and he did, and that's how we started. I think, if I remember correctly.
So, like, basically, Haoma was kind of like a two-piece outfit.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it
right.
was.
See, I always liked that kind of thing because when I grew up in the 90s, I listened to Godhead Silo. They were
Ah,
like
cool.
real underground American band in the 90s during the whole indie scene at that time.
Yeah,
And they did the exact same thing, did an electric bass and the drums. And it was so freaking mind blowing that you couldn't even tell it was two dudes. So,
yeah, and that was really the goal for us in the beginning because we didn't really want a guitar, but then again, I because I had absolutely no clue how to play drums, so I basically handed all those parts to Stefan, and he handed the parts of the songwriting and the lyrics and everything to me, and I kind of missed like having someone to actually like have back and forth ideas with and come up with like riffs and try them out in different ways. So that's why I wanted to try a guitarist, and I'm really glad I did because I think we actually we had more fun as a four piece.
after leaving Haoma, as far as Alistair, how did all of it come about? Just the stylistic journey as far as leading up to the new album.
Well, I think we started like we had some darker songs with more of an occult theme that didn't really fit within the Haoma roster. So we tried them out and like played them under a new name. And basically, our first goal was just to record an EP basically and put it out on Bandcamp or whatever for people to download for free. So we did and left it there basically, and then we were contacted by an old label of ours, which I don't really want to mention the name on because I have nothing good to say about them basically.
No, that's
Uh,
fine.
yeah, and they contacted us back then, and then they asked us if we wanted to release our EP on vinyl, and we were like, yeah, that would be cool because I hadn't released anything on vinyl in my whole life before that. So we did, and we played some live shows. We got a pretty good response, and then eventually Writing Easy Records wrote to us and said, if you guys want to work together, you know where to find me. And we really and we really did wanted to work together.
I was gonna say, Writing Easy, they have a pretty good roster actually. I
Yeah,
take it that you guys have a good relationship then?
we have a really good relationship. I have only good things to say about Daniel and Writing Easy. Uh, we met in person once, and he's a really cool dude. I really love him.